Hey, buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Kelvin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and this is a deck spotlight on a deck I'm calling the Dirty Reno Mage, as created by the professional player Jab. This is a deck I've actually been playing a ton on the ranked ladder at the start of the January 2017 season, and I've been win streaking a ton and winning games, and I've been having a lot of fun playing this deck as well. And Reno Mage is a fantastic answer in the meta right now, and this is a deck that Jab designed and has been playing even better than me, and playing very well at the end of last season and the very early part of this season. So I know this deck has a lot of potential, and I wanted to show it off as sort of my go-to version of Reno Mage right now. And the reason I'm calling it the Dirty Reno Mage is twofold. Number one, it includes the card Dirty Rat, which can do some really fun things and make very big plays by removing combo pieces or big threats from your opponent in a way that you can utilize them, pulling a Ysera right into your waiting polymorph, so on and so forth, so you don't get value out of those battle cries or those kinds of cards. But also just because this deck does a lot of dirty things with Brand Bronzebeard in particular, and by dirty I mean excessive, crazy, absurd. Brand Bronzebeard sets up so many cool plays in this deck, particularly, of course, with Kazakus himself, the other Reno-style card, allowing it to grant 2 potions, create 2 potions of your design. Often in control matchups, I create 2 10-mana potions that just do absurd things, but it gives you all the flexibility in the world. You can get a cheap one and an expensive one, 2 mid-range ones. You can do whatever you need, but with Brand, Kazakus is just absurd value. But Brand is also good with so many other cards in this list, just because there are a lot of battle cries in this deck. You can do things like copy 2 Archmage Antonitises with your Manic Soulcaster if somehow that's what you want to do and it works out. But you basically can't go wrong because of all the dirty little combos and synergies this deck actually allows you to pull off. Now, as far as Reno Mages are concerned, there are probably a few things this deck does uniquely. I've seen multiple versions of Reno Mage. There's probably 12 to 15 core cards that pretty much every deck has, and then the rest of the list is fleshed out by people's tech choices and just cards they like and answers to the meta. For instance, this deck includes Mistress of Mixtures, which I haven't seen everybody running, but this is just another great answer to the really fast meta game with all the pirates out there. Great answer to Small Time Buccaneer and all those fun cards. So really nice when you're climbing the ladder, where I find there's a lot more aggro decks out there. Maybe not quite as good at high legend ranks, but still a nice, valuable ladder card. You also see things like Loot Hoarder and Acolyte of Pain in this list, just to increase your card draw so that you can find a lot of those answers faster than you might otherwise be able to. So you find your Renos that you need, you find your Kazakus, helps you keep up. These can be a somewhat limitation in control matchups that go really late, because card draw tends to punish you with fatigue. But most of the decks out there, like Reno Lock, are drawing cards even faster than you regardless, so that's not always a huge concern unless you happen to run into really late game priests or warriors, which are more rare as far as control matchups are concerned. It also runs a Manic Soulcaster just to create extra value with those double Renos, double Kazakuses, all that fun stuff. What else is unusual here? I guess not much. These are all pretty standard looking cards, so pretty neat little list though, and seems to be working very, very well for me. I'm having a lot of fun playing it, and I'm winning a surprisingly high number of games, particularly in a row. So all that said, now that we've covered the list, I do want to jump into some gameplay. There's going to be a little bit of a weird edit here, because I actually already recorded the games. I had started recording a deck spotlight for a different Reno Mage list. I got the decks mixed up, and I played this one by mistake, even though I recorded an intro for a different variant of Reno Mage, but I wanted to be sure to preserve those games because they're pretty awesome games that you're about to see. So I'm going back and recording the intro first, and now you're about to see me play some ranked games. A couple that have already been recorded, and perhaps 1 or 2 more after that I haven't actually recorded yet. So bear with this awkward cut, and I'll see you guys on the other side. So I'm actually going to keep this mulligan. Against Pirate, it has some answers. This is a fantastic threat to Small Time Buccaneer. Doomsayer, of course, can die, which means sometimes it's just a 7 health heal. It's a second ice barrier. But sometimes it lives, too, and just shuts out their turns and really slows them down. Kazakus may not always feel like a good turn for play, but if you get a good 5-mana potion off of him that wipes the board and gives you armor or just helps you stabilize in any way, he can be really, really powerful. And of course, Reno is not a bad thing to see. We're going to go ahead and Doomsayer here. You might think it's too early, but you can't wait too long against Pirate Warrior because they just have too many ways to kill it. You might be able to kill it now with Heroic Strike. So we just want it to hit, slow him down, waste a turn, force him to armor up, deny Pirates on turn 3 to shut out the Cultist so he can't buff his weapon. Like, there's a lot of value in playing this on 2. Even if we're only killing 2 minions, we're still making a high tempo play. Now, unfortunately, we didn't draw a 3-drop to follow up, so that sort of sucks. We could have pinged a minion on turn 2, played the Doomsayer on 3, but I still venture that that could have really backfired, so there's no reason to get greedy. We got the Kazakus on 4 if we want to. This is a Dragon Warrior, not a strict Pirate Warrior. That would explain why he probably didn't have the best turn. This is a little late, unfortunately. This is not a threat yet. If he plays a weapon, we can shut it out with this, so we'll have to kind of manage that. That means I don't think we need an Arcane Blast, particularly because that leaves us at an awkward mana. So we'll just go ahead and play Kazakus for a 5-mana spell here. Since this is Dragon Warrior, we really want something that helps us contest the board. I think we've slowed him down enough, plus we have a Reno that we can survive. So like the armor here doesn't look nearly as enticing. We also have a Blizzard. So I kind of think the 5/5 Demon is going to be more important here, just to give us a body and something to do. This is just not my favorite Kazakus potion ever, right, as far as options are concerned. None of these feel great. Goldthorn is unlikely to matter. I don't think we're going to have minions out when we want to play this. Mystic Wool could certainly help against like the 9/9. And the demons are just going to be too slow, so I guess we'll take Mystic Wool, but it's a little bit of a tempo swing here. We're able to polymorph something valuable and summon our own body. I don't know that I'm going to be able to play it this turn. I think we'll probably end up destroying a weapon and Arcane Blasting is what I suspect will happen, and it looks like that is the case. We're not going to have much to ping, so it would be nice if I fell into another 2-drop. I don't know what else is available. I'm actually not running my deck tracker. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of just forgot to turn it on. I'll try to make sure that deck tracker's up more often in the future. So we could do a thing where we save the Ooze for a Orcanite Reaper, but that means we'd play the Acolyte and an Arcane Blast, which just wouldn't feel very good. And I really wish I could Arcane Blast this, right? But we can't, so this is not an especially high value Arcane Blast target at this point. It's almost a question, should we actually Arcane Blast it at all, or should we save this for something in the future, like to combo with a Blizzard? Or, in other words, can we play the Acolyte of Pain? Yes, the 3/2 gets to trade into it for free, but if he doesn't have a weapon, that means that the Ooze might survive. I think we're going to do this instead. I know this sort of gives him a free trade, but that's going to die to Blizzard anyway eventually. So whether it's 1 health or 2, it don't matter. It just draws me a card. It's a more efficient usage of my mana. He did have a weapon, but it's not a great one. So I like that even better. That's fine. We can ping that. We can't ping this, so that was a fine trade. I think we'll just Blizzard and trade, clean his board up. We'll be able to Reno in a future turn. We don't have to be greedy here. So here, it would be, if he plays the Draken, the Crusher here, it's going to be fantastic for our Kazakus potion. It'll be exactly what we want. It'll be on the exact minion we want. We can ping it. We can summon a 5/5. It's like the ultimate play. We emptied his board on 6. It's perfect. It's perfect. We couldn't have designed a better potion. That's what we described. I mean, that's why we picked it, right? So that's obviously the play. Against a true pirate, that wouldn't have worked. I'm a little scared that we're close to dead, right? But we have Reno, so we have to be careful with this health total. Like, we might have to Reno from 13 just to prevent any sort of super shenanigans. Like a Rag here. God. We need Rag to hit face, honestly. It's going to help a lot. Yeah, cool. Because now we can Reno. We can't actually kill the Rag yet because the Arcane Blast doesn't do enough. But we'll play Reno, and we'll ping the Rag. I'm not going to trade into it, even though the trade might set up an Arcane Blast next turn. I wish I had the mana, of course, to do it now and just kill the Rag. I'm hoping that both these minions survive his turn. So in other words, he can't kill them without Rag. And Rag will pick off one, and we can Fireball ping the Rag next turn. Maybe even Flame Strike, Arcane Blast, or something. I don't know. That's not going to work, I guess, from a cost standpoint. But Trade, Flame Strike might clear his board too. What's that about? Oh, we'll just execute. Okay. So now we're at risk, right? I wanted one minion to survive to set up the trade, which we don't have now. So it means that unfortunately we're just going to have to spend a lot of mana contesting this this Rag. It's 6 mana, we have 3, so let's go ahead and Arcane Intellect just in case we get like a Polymorph or something. No Polymorph. So we'll have to make this play because Rag is just too big of a threat. That puts us behind on the board, but we're ahead on cards. Firelands Portal will be a nice tempo swing on this Ezra Drake, plus we've got the Ice Block. Unfortunately, of course, we don't have Reno, so... I mean, 30 health's a lot. He's already used 2 huge threats, so hopefully we can stay ahead. And hopefully he plays a few small things and we just Flame Strike here and win the game, right? Flame Strike into Bran or just a body. Doesn't really matter. That's not a super great Flame Strike target, is it? We could Flame Strike Arcane Blast to clear the board. If he plays one more thing, I'll have to consider it. Especially if I get like a 2-drop I can play. Which I don't know that we have any left, but... Dirty Rat Flame Strike Arcane Blast is great against everything except Draconid Crusher. It's really not even that bad against Crusher, because the Dirty Rat probably trades into the Crusher. It makes an even trade. So let's try to suss out like a Frothing Berserker, for instance, here to get a free kill and make this Flame Strike more valuable. And we have 10 mana, right? So we can do it 7, 9, 10. I know we're going to kill at least 2 minions. That's a perfect one. Great, cool. That'll work. And we knew he drew a dragon and a Murloc and I actually didn't watch. I'm assuming he drew a Murloc. Sir Finley, most likely. And the Beast, so that was something we knew was in his hand if he drew 3 cards. I didn't watch. We should have watched more closely. But okay. We can just Firelands Portal trade on this guy. Leaves us at 3 health, which is probably enough to survive for a while. That's a little threatening, right? But I think we're going to be able to take the board firmly enough at this point that it probably won't matter. I think we'll be able to end the game before these kinds of things. Oh, that changes things. I think that means we Firelands Portal that instead. Forbidden Flame doesn't take care of it, unfortunately, right? We probably could if we think about this. If we spend 6 mana, is there anything we really want to do? We could Bran into Manic Soulcaster. We've already played Kazakis and Reno, so we don't have any other no duplicate style plays. So we could get 2 Dirty Rats on our deck. I don't know that I want that, though. I don't think that's a good card for us on average at this point, since we don't have a lot of stuff to combo with it. So I think I'll just play it straight and Firelands Portal this. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That's going to be likely to survive. And I think since we have the spare mana here, I mean, we could Soulcaster just to get more bodies out, because these things are likely to live. I think we'll be able to Ice Block in a future turn. So I guess we will make this play. Or maybe we just copy the... I don't really care about the copy, I kind of just want a body out there. So do I play Bran instead? As a sort of pseudo taunt? I suppose so. I don't really care about the Bran either, so if the Bran dies somehow, just a 4 health heal, we can maybe copy 2 things next turn. Or we just win the game because he sees the writing on the wall. Because we get a 7/7. That too. Yeah, so cool. Kazakis really, really shined there. If we hadn't had an answer to the 9/9, we would have been in a lot of trouble. So thankfully Kazakis provided us exactly what we needed, and that was the game-winning tempo swing. Now, I mean, obviously we decided to pick those things for a specific reason. So there was some skill involved. That's why I like a card like Kazakis. There's a little bit of randomness, but still a lot of decisiveness involved, so it allows you some sort of control. Okay, most likely Reno lock. So that's a more control style matchup. The biggest risks are things like Twilight Drakes overwhelming us early or Mountain Drakes. mountain drakes. That's not what they're called. They're called mountain giants. So I don't really have a lot of good draws other than things like polymorph or some sort of hard removal. Kazakus is always a nice card to keep in hand, but I think Kazakus in this particular matchup is a card that you have to save for Bran because you really want to make sure you get a lot of value. The Soulcaster is not going to be valuable. 6 Swampus can be good against Jiraxis, but that's so much later that I don't want to draw it early and just sit on a dead card. So we'll keep the Kazakus just in case we want to make sure we have a big threat and a card that we can play. But otherwise we'll look for other things to do. I wonder if it's Zoo. That greeting was so suspicious. That was a suspicious greeting. I'm expecting shenanigans out of this. His name is Jaina. He's playing a Warlock. He is playing Gul'dan. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and coin that out. I don't want to float mana here if I don't have to. It means we might end up pinging next turn, but right now there's nothing to ping. There could theoretically be something to ping next turn, so it's sort of irrelevant which way we coin there. We can have a 2-mana turn now or a 2-mana turn next turn. And it just gives me more options and more resources, so these are probably not good draws. Well, Forbidden Flame will be a useful card eventually, but not yet. It takes a while for this to be good. Volcanic Potion is not bad. So like I said, we're pinging this turn instead of last turn. It's functionally exactly the same, but we had more choices. I mean, Kazakus on 4, this is exactly what we said we didn't want to happen, and it's happening. It's already happening. We can Fireball and clean up next turn, but we take 8 to the face. We certainly can't Forbidden Flame. It doesn't do anything. If we do Arcane Blast next turn, what can we do with it? Not much. We could Azure Drake Arcane Blast on turn 6, but that hits us for 16 in the meantime. Like, we just don't have an answer for this right now. We can Kazakus for a 5-mana potion. The problem is I don't know if we need this. We might need this to win the game. But I'm also worried that if we just fall behind, we'll never catch up. So we've got stuff like Kabbalist Tome to win the game. We've got burst damage theoretically to win the game. So we'll play Kazakus. I just don't think we can be too greedy. We'll actually look for the polymorph again. Yeah, Mystic Wool is exactly what we want to handle this. And draw 2 cards is probably not going to be what we want. I think, again, we're going to pick the exact same potion as the last time. We have 9 cards in hand, by the way, so that's one thing to keep in mind with Kazakus, particularly if you're playing with Bran. Sometimes you'll create too many spells and fill your hand and burn a card, which can always be a problem. So those make our potion considerably worse, unfortunately. So I think we have to hold on the potion for now. We can still Fireball, Arcane Blast, and save the potion for later. Trade into the Mistress, and we're in an okay spot, but I kind of hate using our Fireball for that. And 2 cards on 1 card is never a trade you like making. I just don't know that we can do anything else. Like, we don't have a Blizzard coming to stall this stuff out. We just don't have adequate removal right now. Of course, we'd like to be able to use spell damage on this, but just the numbers don't add up right now for that, for mana, so I think we have to do this. It's not a play I like. I think it puts us pretty substantially behind. This is a resource battle in many ways, and a staying alive against combo battle too sometimes. We don't know for sure this is a combo lock, but likely we've got a 20 damage combo from Leroy, Power Overwhelming, Faceless, going to hit us eventually. So we really have to manage our health total as soon as he plays Emperor Thaurissan, that is, to enable that combo in 1 turn. Or perhaps lower damage variants thereof at lower mana cost if we get too low on health. So Emperor Thaurissan's a fine play here. It makes Kabbalist Tome a little cheaper, makes our potion a little cheaper, all of which are good. Volcanic Potion might be decent against this. Flame Strike's probably not great yet. That's a nice little play. Good heal. How many cards are we going to discount if we do this? Quite a few. I'd rather almost get the discount after casting Kabbalist Tome, but the problem is I have 9 cards in hand. If I cast Kabbalist Tome right now, I'll burn a card and a future card if I don't play something. So that doesn't feel great. You could do something like Dirty Rat into Volcanic Potion, but there's nothing compelling there. I think we just kind of have to play this because the mana works. But this whole game has felt awkward. Like, I just don't feel like we've had a good turn yet. Nothing has... Last game, you know, there was some magical stuff lined up Those are the games you always like to see. Is that Shadow Bolt? Yep. Gonna trade in. Defender. Flame Strike's getting sort of better and sort of worse. I'm not really sure yet which it is. The Kazakis Potion has a good chance to hit here. Can we actually set up a world where the Kazakis Potion is guaranteed to hit the Imp King boss? I don't suppose so. The Volcanic Potion doesn't do enough. We can Azure Drake and kill the Defender Vargas with a Forbidden Flame, but that doesn't feel very good either. We can Dirty Rat into Flame Strike. It has the potential to backfire by getting him a big minion, but I think we kind of have to go for like crazy plays at this point, right? In other words, we're significantly behind already. I don't see a lot of routes out of this game right now, so I think we have to just make plays. There's obviously a ton of ways this backfires. That's not a particularly bad one. That's not a bad one. In other words, he's going to have enough damage to kill our Dirty Rat, but we'll make trades in turn if he does use these minions to do that. So, that's a decent outcome. Plus, this protects some of our assets like Reno, which is nice as well. So I still feel bad that we had to use our Kazakis. Like we just didn't get enough value out of him. So we need a big Kabbalist Tome. We need Bran, Cabal Courier. Like we need big resource generation plays that we haven't so far gotten. And we've already used some burst on clear, which is not good. So at this point we have to find a way to win the game because we're not likely to beat this guy on an attrition game. Like he might draw more cards than us and fatigue faster. But then you get things like Jiraxis, his own Reno, that keep him alive, and he just overwhelms us with value faster than we can keep up. Particularly because we've already burned a Flame Strike. Our Kazakis Potion is not a board clear. So we're going to have to look for some sort of route to victory, which so far is unclear. Plus, of course, we're always fighting against the potential for him to just kill us, which is problematic. He took care of that for us. That's fine. I don't have an answer to that. Oh, I do. Kazakis Potion is fantastic here. It's exactly what we had before. We can even Azure Drake first, and I think we will. Just to draw a card. That's going to be helpful eventually. This would be really good against something like a Naked Sylvanas as well. But we have another Polymorph, and this is an opportunity for us to take the board. This could be a sort of challenging thing for him to deal with. Hellfire kills the Azure Drake, I suppose, but he probably can't Shadow Flame very effectively without burning part of his combo. Twisting Nether doesn't feel very good because there's just not enough stuff. So this might present a little bit of a threatening board for him. Certainly can't Jiraxis into this board very efficiently and take him to 11. He'd probably just be dead most of the time. Not actually to our hand, but... we could almost be dead too. We're at 16. I'd like to get the Ice Block up next turn. Thus far, we've been fighting for board so much that we haven't really had the spare mana to accomplish that. But, you know, he hasn't played Emperor Thorson yet, so he can't do the full combo, but he could already do Reno Power Overwhelming and hit us for 11. So if he had a Soulfire, you know, we'd almost be dead. Looking for answers. Looks like he got something good. Not great. Still digging for an answer here, it seems. Volcanic Potion's just not going to be that compelling because it's spell damage and it hurts us too much. Oh, this is a demon. Nice. It didn't do any damage to it. That's awesome. So we just saw Demon Wrath. I think if we play Bran, there's a chance it lives. Not that I have another card to use it with right now, but I think we'll just go ahead and Bran Cabal Courier and Ice Block this turn. It's a nice clean 9 mana, gets us some value. We won't be overdrawn on cards or anything, so. Now this is going to be some tough decisions, right? Not anymore, actually. This is fantastic. Another resource generator like this is awesome. I mean, Flamewaker could be great, but we don't have a lot of spells necessarily to use with it right now. And I don't know when it's going to be great, but this is always just an option, right? This is less exciting. Soulfire is damage, though, so I guess we'll take the damage. Like I've said before, we want to make sure we have a way to win the game. So Ice Block's fantastic against the combo, right? As long as we stay alive until the combo. We can always just Reno after he combos, and that removes his win condition. So Ice Block is a great trump card in this matchup. Twisting Nether, okay, that's not a huge board to Twisting Nether, so I'm probably okay with that. And it looks like we can play some more stuff. This is 7 mana for the Ellie into the Cabal. If we cobble his tome first, how many cards do we have left? We have 7 in hand, so this would put us at 10. We can water Ellie Ping, and that'll be fine. Yeah, 7 in hand. Polymorph's good. Ice Barrier, maybe not so exciting. Shatter's going to be tough to use too. Maybe this turn would be the best turn, since we'll have a water Ellie out. I didn't get damage. I really wanted damage. We got more defense, which I don't think we need. But removal is valuable. So, man, it feels like we have too many cards in hand, but it's 9. That's the correct amount. Damage would have been nice. Another Fireball perhaps could have won us the game next turn, for instance, right? Like Fireball, Soul Fire is 11, plus 3 is 14. So it's sad that we got mostly just utility / removal / defense. This is particularly bad removal, in fact. Siphon Soul on a 4 mana card really doesn't feel too bad to me. Oh, this is the perfect answer to that. So I'm happy to see that. And there's no need to ping, so we'll just Ice Barrier while it's up, right? We got the mana for it, so can't hurt. And now we're very, very safe, but this is the point where the game becomes a resource race. Do I care to kill that? I'm honestly not sure I'm going to kill that. I mean, a 4/6 is pretty valuable, though. Is there an easy way for me to kill that? I can Cabal Courier, see what I get, spend... I need to save 3 mana to kill it with a Forbidden Flame after trading. So I need to spend 7 mana, so I'd have to spend 4 after playing the Cabal Courier. Can waste a little, of course. Let's just deal with it, right? I think the 4/6 might perhaps be worth it. So this is damage. That is the card we wanted. I didn't even really look at the other two. I think it's Priest of the Feast and Shadow Flame. We don't need more AoE removal, I don't think. Particularly because we don't have a big minion to actually... Oh, I probably could have just killed that outright and done 4 to the face had I done this a little differently. Yeah, I think we wasted some... Yeah, we wasted some... We got a 2/2 out, so it's sort of valuable, but... We wasted a little bit of damage here. There was a cleaner way to do that. If we wanted to just burn it for 7, we could have hit him for 4 instead of 1, so he would have been at 15. Would have actually set us up for a 2-turn lethal, but we are actually now anyway. We have 8 and 10, so that's fine. He's at 10 cards in hand, so he's got to play something. Hellfire hurts him as well, but the Mistress saves him a tad. We can't do 14 to kill him right now, unfortunately, which means I just don't have a fantastic play. I think this is my play. We could have Pyroblasted, but we want to save that for after Reno, obviously. Still got a Reno. It's probably going to come down this turn, in fact, if I had to guess. In which case we might just trade Volcanic Potion if he plays Reno and another minion. This lives and he doesn't heal. I mean, he's going to be dead.
So many possibilities.
He's down to 5 cards, so he's clearly fatiguing faster than us. He can still Reno after that. There's the Reno. He drew it pretty recently. Didn't that come from the second to last card in his hand? Yeah, we'll just trade Volcanic Potion, ping Doomsayer. It's going to be hard to get more value out of this potion. This probably means he doesn't do anything to the board. Gives us some time. But we need some proactive threats here soon, right? Like, we're basically not able to play anything even if this goes off. Like, what can we do? We need to draw something to play. Reno doesn't help. We want to save Reno. None of these spells do anything. It's a lot of damage now. I mean, that's 7. This is 10, 17. But we need to chip him down. He's not going to be life tapping at this point. Oh! Oh. That shortens his lifespan pretty significantly. I was curious if Shadow worked on Jiraxis. So not a minion anymore, though. I don't think it works that way. That's good to stall out his stuff. Do we have a way to set up a kill here? No, because we can take him to... No, we don't really have a way to set up a kill here. We could Pyroblast and do it next turn, but I don't know that he doesn't have more heals. He probably doesn't. Maybe we should have just Pyroblasted, but we have a good play to destroy the weapon. This just feels like a very weak turn. Could take him to 11. That makes Pyroblast a threat if the minion survives. But I don't think the minion's going to be able to attack. I think he's going to taunt up some stuff. Yeah, I think we played that a tad too slow. I think we maybe could have just Pyroblasted face and gone for the 2-turn win with the Frostbolt Soulfire. I think we have enough damage we're going to win anyway, but it makes me nervous that we didn't go for it. I think this means he doesn't taunt, which probably means we just win. Do we win? Did I set up? What's he at, 11? No, we didn't Frostbolt, so that won't even do it. Yeah, I think we played too slow. This is 7, 10, 11. We have 11 damage 2 different ways. Yeah. We didn't set it up. Probably should have. These could be armor too, so I really regret now not going for it when I could have. Yeah, so he stalled out a little bit. He got a very weak Kazakis option there. So this is a good Blizzard. Oh, that's even more damage. Jeez. It's still, now we're gonna have trouble finding the damage again. Let's just put him on the clock, right? Like, let's just put him on the clock. That's stalled out. It puts Pyroblast in lethal. Like, he's got to heal himself. Taunt doesn't do it. I think that has to be the right play. There's the armor we were worried about. Ugh! This was the problem, guys. This was the problem. So I still can maybe race him, right? Pyroblast face. He's out of Kazakis potions. We can try to play the minion trade game, but it feels risky. We have 10, and this is 7, 8. So take a couple turns. He's going to be fatiguing fairly soon as well. How long can we survive against this stuff? Not long, because we used our stall. Yeah, I feel like this one slipped away, and I feel like it's my fault that it's done so. I think we took a wrong line a few turns back. But we're going to draw into these Roaring Torches so soon. Screw it. He can Reno, I guess, still. He hasn't played Reno, right? Or, no, he did play Reno. He played Reno. We traded into it and cleared it. So fatigue is going to be a threat to him soon. Like, every damage point from my ping is a threat. We can't Soulfire until after the Pyroblast, unfortunately, but combo doesn't threaten me right now. That doesn't threaten me much right now. I think I'm just gonna go for damage again, right? He can't pop the block with what's on board. But of course, Leroy is gonna do a lot of damage. This could backfire, but we'll see. I don't think he has any heals left, and he's going to take 1 fatigue damage next turn. Soulfire should end the game. We have 5. I feel like we have to be able to win this. Most of that's combo cards. Most of that's combo cards. I hope we win this. If not, we really fumbled it. That doesn't do it. I mean, it's going to pop the block, but he's dead at that point. That doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. Whew! We made it out of here alive, boys, but it was not... It was not perfect. I don't think that was perfect. I think we should have Pyroblasted immediately. Then his Kazakus turn would have been a turn too late, and he wouldn't have been able to accomplish anything out of it, and we would just won the game with, I think, Frostbolt, Soulfire, or whatever we had. This win streak continues. I got a lot of faith in the Dirty Reno Mage by Jab, so let's keep running. Again, I've just been climbing really successfully with this deck. Pretty quickly climbing up the ladder compared to what I normally accomplish. Usually takes me mid-season to get up to rank 5 just because I'm slow and don't get to play enough and end up playing funny decks and budget decks and testing so much that I can't actually focus on getting into a deck and really learning it and climbing, which is, of course, the best way to do it. But this deck feels that way a little bit to me for the first time in a while. Alright, so for our mulligan here, I like all three of these against Shaman. This is fantastic against the various claws, as is this, and this also trades into a lot of stuff Shaman plays or stalls out big things. And the Volcanic Potion, of course, is a great answer against totems. It's not as good against Trogs or Feral Spirit Wolves, but it can still make plays, so we'll keep it around, particularly with ping to even things out later in the game. The game really wants us to have Archmage Antonidas, which I don't actually want. This is too slow. I mean, the coin is good with him, but we might have to use the coin for tempo before then. But Antonidas coin, Forbidden Flame on 7 would be a pretty nice little play to generate a couple quick fireballs to help me keep up or maybe even win the game. So this also, by the way, could be a control shaman. I've been seeing more and more Jade Nizath shamans, a deck which I actually played a lot last season myself, so I'm pretty familiar with. That doesn't really identify this deck as anything in particular, so that doesn't help us a lot. We could play the Courier with a coin into that. Could also just ping it and Forbidden Flame it next turn. That's a 5 mana commitment, though, to a 2 mana card, or sort of a 3 mana card, so that doesn't feel very good. The Cabal Courier, he will be able to trade in, but then the Volcanic Potion would clean it up, particularly if he totems next turn. We could just kill 2 minions with 1 card, but that would also feel a little bit weak, simply because you know, you want to get more out of this and save it as a big clear. So I think the right play is actually just to ping this and coin out the Water Elemental next turn and hope that it trades into it. A Healing Totem here punishes us a little bit for that, but we can't really play around that right now. Tunnel Trog punishes us a little less. I mean, there's a chance that he's able to kill this Water Ellie pretty concisely with things like Lightning Bolt, but if that's the case, he probably still trades a Totem Golem into it, which means we've gotten some value. Feral Spirit Wolves are a little problematic, but not really. Like, we can still kill the Tunnel Trog with Forbidden Flame. And it looks like he is going to make that trade. No, he's not going to make that trade. That is intriguing to me, actually. Man, I wish we had spell damage for the Volcanic Potion. We would just destroy him. But we don't, unfortunately. So we have to make a sort of suboptimal play with Forbidden Flame just to make sure that we don't die here. We do not have Reno or Ice Block yet, so we're somewhat high risk of death, just because he's already taken us to 20 and he has 5 on board. He's used 1 Lightning Bolt, but there's going to be more to come, I'm sure. There's always a Maelstrom Portal, I've learned. Volcanic Potion ping is really not too bad here. Just because we're so low, I think we kind of have to. I wish I could Doomsayer as well, but the problem is if I just Volcanic Potion and don't ping, not enough stuff dies. I really want to take damage off the board, and if those are both alive, the Doomsayer is almost certainly dead. They just have so many tools to kill it. So Acidic Swamp Ooze Kazakus would be my favorite turn if he plays a weapon. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do I have to Reno now? I ping He's got 8 damage on board. He only needs 5. He almost definitely has it. By ping, I can Kazakis, but not much else. I could Kazakis Doomsayer. The Doomsayer would die for free, but it'd be a heal for 7. The question is, does he not have 5 damage? It's almost impossible that he doesn't have 5 damage. The problem with Reno, of course, though, is that he can just trade into my Reno, and I still have this giant board to deal with and don't have answers to it. Kazakis would not be able to draw me a 5-mana spell yet, so I wouldn't be able to do that. I could Doomsayer to stall a little, hopefully regain some steam, but losing my Reno is just such a valuable asset. The problem is that I've played this matchup a fair bit, and I always try to get greedy with my Reno and wait an extra turn, and I'm always dead. So I know this doesn't always feel right, like you want to be sure to give yourself a way to win the game in the future, but if you don't stay alive right now, you can't win the game in the future. So this gives us a better shot, I think, than not Renoing. I think we're just dead. I think he'll probably Lava Burst trade into this, and we'll see that we were dead. Oh my god. Really? That's his first pirate? Oh my gosh, what do we do here? How do we handle 2 of these? That certainly helps. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is the best possible card, I think. I still can't kill this, though. I can kill one of them, but I'm going to take 7 again. Like, I'm just almost dead again. I also can't Kazakis into a 5. So I need a Frostbolt or a Forgotten Torch, something to kill this. I don't actually have an answer to it right now. He's going to roll spell damage. He always does. I'll get hit for 10. Oh, wow. Unheard of. Unheard of. So I need a second Flame Strike. Firelands Portal is good. We're still going to take a ton of damage, but what else can we do? Hopefully this is a taunt. He'll get Hex. This is Hex right here, I betcha. Do you want to bet? He top decked Hex off this. I don't even know if he runs Hex, though. He's pretty aggro. Even Hex wouldn't be that bad. Jade Lightning is not that bad either. I mean, he has to trade into it at least. Like, we're still losing really hard, obviously, but... So now we can Kazakis into 5. I think we have to try, right? There's no other outs. We could get an Ice Block or something, but that's still just a losing play. Like, we have to address the board. We can't win by... we need to get a 4 damage... we need the 4 damage one, not this. So the dilemma right now is we have to get the deal 4 damage to minions to win the game. Like, we're going to lose regardless if we don't get that. So this could maybe keep us alive if it hits the 7 damage guys, right? Like, theoretically we'd be alive. But if we pick this and then we get the 4 damage one in the second half, then it's a waste. So the question is, do we maybe get, like, Goldthorn instead or Mystic Wool, just really hoping? I guess we have to play it safe. So see, yeah, this actually backfired. We would have been better off getting like Goldthorn or whatever. But we didn't really know. We had to play it safe just in case it hit the 2 of these. In hindsight, it looks bad, but that was the only choice that kept us alive right then that we knew about. So, ugh, it's 3 more damage. We're dead to Lava Burst. Not quite dead to that, but darn close. Darn close. So ice, we might still be dead. It looks like he's got Lightning Bolt or something. Jade Claws doesn't do it. Blizzard theoretically keeps me alive. Kabbalist Tome into Ice Block or Ice Barrier maybe keeps me alive. Yeah, that would theoretically do it. Does anything on this do it? Like, what's my best odds? Azure Drake is not it. It's like a 1 in 16. Kabbalist Tome gives me the most outs. I don't think that's enough. We're just dead. Is there something here? Maybe... I don't think so. Oh, those don't help at all. Yeah, we're just dead. Yeah, shoot. If we had... Man, yeah, the 2/7/7s are what beat us. There's no other getting around it. Like, we just couldn't deal with that. Didn't have a Polymorph, didn't have Fireball. The Flame Strike was a clutch draw to even keep us alive for half as long as we should have been, but just not enough answers. Needed a Blizzard, needed a An ice block obviously would have helped, but I don't even know if that would have been enough. He eventually would have just popped the block and won, I think. We couldn't ever establish a board, unfortunately. Just always playing a little bit too far behind. That's tough. I mean, I win that matchup sometimes, and you lose it sometimes too. So, just depends on the starts and the cards. You notice we had a lot of cards in hand that just were too slow and didn't do anything. So I guess we'll get another shot here. Let's try again. These are just a little too slow. If I knew I had an Arcane Blast, I'd probably keep this. Maybe I keep it anyway just for card draw. Send it out there to die and trade. Set up a Forbidden Flame, perhaps. I guess so. We just don't have that many good early game cards against Shaman. Like, maybe Blood Mage Thalanos is enough. Doomsayer helps. Forgotten Torch is good. This isn't bad. We can work with this, certainly. Coin is also very helpful. We're playing Chalupa, which is funny. Oh, I'll take that. That's fine. We'll go ahead and get it out there just in case it matters. It's a little risky because we do have the Doomsayer on 2 if we wanted to play it, but this could dissuade him from playing stuff. Like, there's advantages, certainly, to this. Normally I would have pinged, but we do the loot orders. We'll just go ahead and play both. Just to get more power on the board. It feels like this might be control. He hasn't played anything yet. Oh, God, I always... Stupid Maelstrom Portal. Goodness gracious. That's sort of useless. We'll just actually Doomsayer here. There's not much else to do on our mana. We could Water Lily, I guess. But the coin could be flexible and useful to do things like Forgotten Torch ping next turn. This kills the 0-1 and perhaps denies him from making plays, so... I still don't actually know what kind of deck this is, though. We haven't gotten a good beat on that yet. So again, another one of those Doomsayers where probably didn't look all that valuable, but from a tempo standpoint, it made a pretty significant impact because it gives me initiative on the board with a really nice minion that's probably hard for him to kill. I need him to play some cards. We don't know what that... This has to be a more control-oriented Shaman, right? Like, he's not playing anything. So, it certainly feels like it must be that. And I think we'll just torch this. Not so much... because we care about it dying so much as just planting that seed of the Roaring Torch in our deck so that we get a better card draw sooner and just to spend our mana pretty efficiently. Oh, definitely control. Goodness gracious. Planting the seed, like I said. Yes, not a lot of great plays here. We can just go ahead and do this. We don't want to play another minion because it just makes the Sylvanas too scary, so... We don't have a Silencer, Polymorph, or anything, so this is a N'Zoth Jade Control Shaman, so we're going to need a big Kazakus out of this, particularly a Polymorph Kazakus that enables us to deal with the N'Zoth board. Otherwise, like, Flame Strike's just often not enough because most of it's 5 health stuff. We could save Thalnos Flame Strike to really help, to kill the White Eyes of Sylvanas. I don't know. I don't know that I love that play necessarily. I see a lot of people do this where they kill their own Sylvanas, and I mean, most of the time isn't what you want from your Sylvanas to be alive to serve as a friction point and as a threat. Like, what did he do there? I guess he used 2 mana to kill a 5/1. I mean, we're gonna ping it off, so it was going to die. That's true, but. I don't know. In other words, I think I just would have healed my Sylvanas. Why didn't he just heal the Sylvanas? Leave me with the 3/6. The Sylvanas still would have been there. I wouldn't have been able to play more minions. I just feel like that gives me ways to win the game. We can just double Fireball here and kill this stuff. The real downside of that is there's going to be Jade Golems that we have to kill. We're going to have to find ways to do it. They're not here yet, though, so I guess we'll worry about that later. See, like, if he'd healed his Sylvanas, I would have had to make the same play, and he'd get a 3/6. I don't know, I have to think about it more, but I just feel like people overthink Sylvanas sometimes. Maybe he wanted to ensure that it died. I think Aya is a more important minion to ensure that it dies, though, than is Sylvanas. I just don't have any plays here. This is rough. I'd love to polymorph Aya, because you know when she dies, he's going to get her back in N'Zoth, and then N'Zoth's going to be harder to clear essentially unless we get the polymorph off Kazakus. But since it's just such a high damage target, we're going to have to go ahead and kill it. And because we need to spend our mana, and we just don't have a lot of cards in hand. Jade Golem and Shaman is so good to me. I know Jade Druid gets a lot of the love, but I feel like Jade Shaman is just in many ways better. This is something I needed. We needed a card draw. We just don't have things we want right now. Man, is this worth Bran? I think we have to save Bran for Kazakus to ensure we get the Polymorph Potion for 10 mana. That's intriguing, but not yet. This could really stall out a big Jade Golem set of cards. The question is, what on earth do we do with our mana now? We can kill one of these. Could even Forbidden Flame the other one. This is so good against like a 10 mana Jade Golem though that I'm scared to utilize that resource. Maybe I just take 3 damage and don't worry about it yet. We'll actually kill the totem here instead of the 1/1, just to make it slightly less likely he gets a spell damage totem, because this isn't really affecting anything. We have to make a choice. Still don't have anything good in my hand. Like, this stuff's all just waiting for combos and waiting for plays. That's a threat, clearly, because it gets him to N'Zoth faster, and we don't have our Kazakus yet. So I think we're going to go ahead and Frostbolt that as opposed to this. And again, I just don't think we have a good play right now. Just kind of waiting, just biding time at this point. It's going to be tough. That's problematic. I may have to end up Forbidden Flaming that just because it's scary. Flame Strike would be a decent draw. Antonidas, I guess, is actually halfway decent, isn't he? Because we can get a lot of fireballs. We can get 3 fireballs out of this. He'll hex it, obviously it's going to die, but you know, 3 fireballs is pretty good. Plus we freeze the board and we kill a minion. I don't think we're going to get a better Antonidas than this one, honestly. This is a bit of a waste of the Forbidden Flame. I wonder if it's worth it to get a Fireball back. On average, is the Forbidden Flame going to be better than Fireball or equal to Fireball? And is killing a 1/1 worth it? I mean, I guess we'll just hold on to it. It's a 6 mana, 6 damage spell though. It's less efficient than Fireball, I suppose. I guess this just gives me guaranteed damage. It doesn't feel great, but I think it's probably the right decision. But that's the kind of thing you have to think about when you're making that kind of judgment call, right? Like, there's the Hex, we know that's coming. That's just an inevitability. This gives us a play on the Ooze. Finally, we've been sitting on this for like 100 years. I'd love a Flame Strike Ooze turn. Would be just incredible, because this is the perfect Flame Strike range. We're never going to be able to kill this many 4 health things again, because all his Jade Golems are going to be bigger in future turns. So this hitting a Flame Strike would be amazing. There's other things that get hit too that are board clears. If we don't hit a Flame Strike, we probably have to Fireball the Azure Drake and just play Ooze. That's a 9 mana play. So let's see what we hit though. These are not very good. These are not very good. I guess Counterspell. I like the idea of big minions, but they don't do anything for us. So we have no Cthulhu. It's weird that we got 2 Cthulhu cards. Yeah, not the strongest turn. Our Flame Strike is going to get worse turn by turn, so I really, really wish we'd had it there. Would have been an amazing Flame Strike. Plus we would have gotten been able to play a minion, draw some resources off this. Like, it would have been fantastic. So now see, Flame Strike's useless against this, more or less. We can still ping, of course, but it just keeps getting worse. We had to use Burn on minions instead of Actually, Flame Strike would still be a good draw because we have the Thalamus. We talked about that, the 5 health stuff, but... Blizzard's not a bad draw either. He set us up to make a trade here. Ice Block doesn't do anything for us though right now. Just almost nothing. Less than nothing. So unfortunately, we've got to kill this stuff. This is just so bad that we haven't gotten a board clear yet. It's really, really unfortunate. Pinging these minions just nothing, so we'll just go ahead and ping base. Sometimes, if we had a minion that was already damaged, pinging it could matter because it could still keep it in flame strike range and stuff. But we're just really far behind at this point. We might even be dead. 7, 9. It's probably not likely, but. One Jade Lightning would have put us... Well, actually would have killed us. We would have been dead. So yeah, I mean, we're just running out of time and answers here. We have to Ice Block to live, but we don't have Reno. I think we have to play this down to draw a card a little bit faster instead of pinging. Like, we just have to draw into an answer. We just don't have one right now. Kazakus... maybe helps, but he's going to pop the block, so actually no. Kazakus probably doesn't help. We probably have to get Reno here soon. We cannot ping our Acolyte into Reno. Won't be enough mana left. So, we don't... kind of have to draw him. Kazakus... He's not going to be able to put us to 1 very easily, it looks like, so... Oh, never mind. I'm obviously awful at math. He can put us exactly at 1. So, scratch that. Oh, it's just too late. I cannot do this and live. It's 1 turn too late. Oh, how frustrating is that? How frustrating is that? Any previous turn, this would have been fantastic, but now it's too late. I guess there is a 5-mana Kazakus potion that keeps us alive, theoretically, a deal 4 damage to all minions and get armor. But we have to get exactly that. And this is not it, so this will not keep us alive. Maybe, I guess, if we get a random demon that is a Voidwalker... But we didn't clear the board, so this just won't do it. We're still just dead. Almost a 1-3, but not the right one. I guess technically if we'd gotten a Voidwalker, we would have been... No, we still would have been dead. He had too much damage. We had to get the 4 damage and the Voidwalker, or 4 damage and armor. Had to be a very specific combo. Unfortunately for us, I think he had us anyway. Yeah, we just never got ahead. Just fell behind twice in a row there. 2 different kinds of Shaman. So maybe the weakness for Reno Mage is unfortunately Shaman. At least these 2 games. I don't think we drew particularly well. Perhaps we could have mulliganed a little differently for some more advantages. But those felt like 2 just really tough games where we never actually had a chance. I didn't see a lot of lines of play there that won us that game. So that's going to wrap it up for me in the Dirty Reno Mage by Jab. Pretty cool deck. Like I said, that was unfortunately not the most representative games of my climb so far. I've shot from basically 12 to 8, losing maybe 1 or 2 games. So I've had a nice little run of it. Perhaps the meta is already shifting in a direction where this doesn't work quite as well, but you'll have to figure that out yourself by playing this deck, and I certainly do recommend you do exactly that because it's a fun and fantastic one. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions on this deck, I'll do my best to answer them. Clearly not as good at this deck as the creator Jab, who is obviously a much better Hearthstone player than me on average, and knows this deck inside and out, so check him out too if you're looking for even more insights and tips than I can provide. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, game on.